Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Main Street Talk podcast, your go-to podcast for all the latest Disney World news and updates. I am your host, Nick. Thank you for joining us again this week for this new episode of Main Street Talk. I am recording on Saturday, May 24th, so all news that I will be discussing will be current to May 24th. And I just got to say, off topic here, it is obviously May 24th, late May, and I live in Western Illinois, or Northwestern Illinois. And the nights are still pretty cold, and it's starting to irritate me. Like, it's getting like between 45 and 50 every night. So I typically leave for work about 6:45 every day, and it's pretty brisk out in the mornings. Now, I understand that it's the Midwest and the weather fluctuates, but it seems to me that it's getting pretty late in spring for it to still be getting 40, 45 degrees at night. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've had some nice days, like today out. It's very nice out. And a couple weeks ago, we hit record highs with 93-degree days, which is crazy. It was very hot for a couple days. That was actually a good thing because we turned on our air conditioner and it was not running well. So it was good we caught that in May instead of the consistently 95-degree days in July, 95 degrees hot and humid. So I'm glad that we caught that in May. We had a repairman come out and he got it fixed up and it's running great now. So anyway, enough about my home systems and my local weather. Let's get into what you actually tuned in for, and that's the news in Disney World. Not a lot of news in Disney World this week. Kind of a slow week, so we're going to get to what we do need to talk about, and of course we'll do our Spotlight on Attraction segment. So let's get into the news. We're going to start out with Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Tickets went on sale for everybody on May 22nd, and of course Disney Resort guests could purchase 1 week prior to that. But after going on sale on May 22nd, just hours later, Halloween night has sold out. Now, Halloween night is on a Friday, so I'm sure that contributed to it being sold out so quick. But in any event, it is sold out for Halloween night. Usually Halloween night and opening night are the ones that sell out first. So my suggestion is if you plan on going to Disney World in the Halloween season, Disney's Halloween season, I should say, and you want to go to the Not So Scary Halloween Party, I would get your tickets sooner rather than later. It says here last year all nights were sold out by September 24th, but I'm under the opinion of why wait? Let's just get our tickets and get them secured. The party starts on August 15th and runs on select nights through October 31st. Tickets range from $119 to $229, with the high end, the $229, being October 30th and 31st, and annual pass holders can enjoy a $10 discount on select dates in August and September. And we're going to jump over to Hollywood Studios, where Woody's Lunchbox is finally getting some shaded areas to eat. That's been a problem over there, that there was no shaded spots to eat, but now they are finally getting some covering over there. And I know people say that Animal Kingdom is the hottest park in Disney World, and yes, it's hot. All the parks can be hot, but I hear a lot of people say Animal Kingdom's the hottest. I will put Toy Story Land's heat up against anybody else's heat in Central Florida. That land just seems to get hot, and there's no breeze, it seems like. Every time I've been in there, there's absolutely no breeze. We were there a couple years ago in line to meet Woody and Jessie, and the line was long. And this was in April. This was late April, last week of April. Line was long, and in that line at that time, I don't know if they've changed it, there was like 4 or 5 umbrellas to stand under, like 5-foot umbrellas. So once you got up to the umbrellas, you were okay in the shade for a minute or two, and then you had to move on. But man, it was hot. That might be the hottest I've ever been in my life. Definitely one of the most hottest, and that was in April. I can't imagine standing in there in June or July or August. And then, of course, it's hot. The characters have to take breaks often, so you're in the line a little longer. No, I'm not complaining. I know that's you have to. It's hot and it's dangerous. But yeah, I will put Toy Story Land's heat up against anybody. And also over at Hollywood Studios, the Villains Unfairly Ever After show has gotten some new signage, and the theater is painted. So yeah, looking forward to that. That's going to be a good show. I'm really looking forward to that show. I know there's been some cast member previews going on, but I am not going to watch anything until I see that show. We are going to Disney in December of this year. We were going to do a resort-only stay, but we might do one park day. And I think Hollywood Studios may be the park to go to just for to see the new villain show. And as far as the Muppets go, over in Muppet's Courtyard in Hollywood Studios, the attraction will be closed on June 7th. But they are planning a special send-off. On June 10th, after the park closes to regular guests, cast members will have the exclusive opportunity to enjoy Muppets Vision 3D one last time. This farewell event will feature food, games, and the reopening of Pizza Rizzo for attendees. I think that is really cool. I think that's really cool of Disney to do, to get the cast members together to send the show off. I know a lot of people are sad to see Muppets to go, but I am super excited for Monsters Inc. Land. I think that's going to be a really, really cool and fun area over there. So yeah, June 7th, Muppets will be closed. And over at Magic Kingdom, as we know, the Astro Orbiter has been under refurbishment, and it is the central post from the Astro Orbiter is now reinstalled at Magic Kingdom over there in Tomorrowland. The refurbishment is expected to be completed in the summer of 2025 sometime. It is not known exactly when, but it does say through at least July 18th. So when that gets back up and running, we will definitely let you know about it here on the Main Street Talk podcast. And there's been some updates on the DAS Pass. Disney has extended the validity period for the Disability Access Service, or DAS Pass, to 1 full year or length of the ticket, whichever is shorter. This means that eligible guests, including annual pass holders, won't need to re-register as frequently, making the process much more convenient for frequent visitors. Previously, the DAS validity period underwent several extensions from 30 days to 120 days, then to 240 days. Now with the 1 year validity, guests can enjoy a longer duration before needing to renew their DAS registration. It's important to note that this extension applies to new DAS registrations. Guests with existing DAS passes under the previous 240-day policy will still need to re-register upon expiration. So that's going to do it for the Disney World news this week. Like I said, it wasn't a lot going on. Not a lot of big things happening for sure. But that's it for the news segment. And now we're going to head on over to our Spotlight on Attraction. And since we were talking about the Astro Orbiter in the news segment with the refurbished going on, I think we're going to dive in a little bit to the Astro Orbiter, the history of it. So on the Disney website, under the Astro Orbiter, it says this is for any height, all ages. It is a spinning ride, a slow ride. And their description says, hold on tight as your retro 2-passenger spacecraft levitates high into the air, picks up speed and begins orbiting a galaxy of planets while the sights and sounds of Tomorrowland whirl far below. You're the captain now. Control how high you fly by pulling or pushing the lever inside of your ship. So if you've ever been to Magic Kingdom, you've definitely seen the Astro Orbiter with spinning rockets high above Tomorrowland, stationed just above the People Mover. But did you know the Astro Orbiter has been around in one form or another since Magic Kingdom opened in 1971? Originally, it was not called the Astro Orbiter. It was simply known as Starjets. Back then, it featured a large rocket in the center, modeled after the Saturn V, and the vehicles looked like little space shuttles. This was at the height of the space race era, and Tomorrowland was all about looking toward the real-life space exploration. For decades, the Starjet thrilled guests with its high-flying views and retro space vibes, but in 1994, Tomorrowland underwent a big thematic shift. Instead of being focused on real science and space travel, Disney decided to go with a futuristic spaceport city. Something more timeless and imaginative. That's when the Starjets were retired, and in 1994, the Astro Orbiter was born. Astro Orbiter isn't just a simple name change. The entire aesthetic was reworked. Gone with the NASA-style central rocket, and in its place became a beautiful golden steampunk-style planetary pylon complete with spinning orbs and rings, designed to look like a celestial observatory from a science fiction novel. The ride vehicles were redesigned too, now resembling sleek, retro rockets with fins and flame decals. Another really cool thing about the Astro Orbiter is its location. It is a spinning ride, but unlike Dumbo or Aladdin or the old Triceratops spins over at Animal Kingdom, the Astro Orbiter is elevated. It sits on top of the People Mover platform, which gives riders some of the best panoramic views of Magic Kingdom, especially at night. It is a short ride, but if you're up there at night above Tomorrowland, wow, those are some amazing views. I would love to ride this thing during the fireworks sometime. I think I might do that. That would just, I think, be absolutely phenomenal. Let me know if you've done that before. Have you rode this during the fireworks? The attraction hasn't changed much since that time, but it did get a big refurbishment in 2014. That update focused mostly on refreshing the mechanics and repainting the structure. Everything got a nice refresher, polish, and Disney made sure it still fit in with the futuristic world of Tomorrowland. And Astro Orbiter holds a special place in Tomorrowland's history. It's a beautiful nod to both Disney's past and its ever-changing vision of the future. But yeah, if you've never been on the Astro Orbiter, or if you are a first-time visitor to Disney, I would highly recommend riding the Astro Orbiter at night. The views you get of Tron and Space Mountain and of the castle they're absolutely beautiful. It's a fun ride, but I personally ride it for the views. It's a great view from up there. And full disclosure here, to be perfectly honest, I don't think I've ever rode it during the day. I've always waited till night, so maybe I'm a little biased, but I will continue riding it at night. I will do other attractions during the daytime hours. That's going to do it for our spotlight on attraction this week, the Astro Orbiter. Go ahead, if you've never rode it, take a ride on it. You can see it towering out of Tomorrowland from pretty much a lot of areas in the park. And I'm going to get on to this week's tip or trick. This week's tip or trick has to do with lightning lane booking. I know there are a lot of different strategies out there, a lot of different ways to book lightning lanes. Maybe you do it just on what you want to ride, what's important to you. Maybe you do it on you want to hit the big hitters. Some people do them on shows they want to see. However you want to do it is not incorrect. You do it the way what fits for your goals of your park visiting time. I'm just going to tell you a little tip about what we did, and this worked out great for us. I know I've read a lot of people online don't like doing it this way, but I'm going to tell you our story and how we did it. We selected burner rides, and I'll give you the example because it's really the only one that's sticking out in my mind is the Magic Kingdom burner ride strategy we used. So what is selecting a burner ride? Selecting a burner ride is you select a ride that typically doesn't have a long wait. You select that right at rope drop so you can get in on it, scan into it, and you're able to open up all the tiers of the park. If you're new to Lightning Lane, when you pre-select, there are tiers you can book. So basically, you can pre-book your rides 7 days prior if you're staying on as resort guest, 3 days prior if you're off-site. I don't know how well this would work staying off-site because the Lightning Lanes tend to fill up from the resort guests. So when your 3 days hit, if you're off-site, a lot of rides are booked. So for this example, we're going to use staying on-site. So 7 days out, you can book 3 Lightning Lanes. You can book 1 Tier 1 in each park and two Tier 2s. The Tier 1 rides are the big rides. Tiana's, Peter Pan, Jungle Cruise. The ones that lines get very, very long. I'm not going to get into all that right now. Maybe we'll do a future show on Lightning Lanes. But the burner ride theory is, so you have your 1 Tier 1 and your 2 Tier 2s. Now, once you scan in to any of your rides when you're in the park, the tier system goes away. So as soon as you scan into a ride, all the tiers are open. You can hold 3 Tier 1s if you wanted to. So the burner ride theory is this. At rope drop, you book a burner ride that typically doesn't have a long wait, and you scan into it and it opens up all the tiers. I'll give you an example. We were at Magic Kingdom in November. We early entered Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. We also had Under the Sea at 9:05. So the park opened, rope drop was 9 o'clock. Park opened at 9 o'clock. We early entered. We got on Seven Dwarfs. I think we waited 15 or 20 minutes at Seven Dwarfs. Was able to go over to Gaston's, get some breakfast, and then by the time we got to Little Mermaid, it was 9:05. We scanned into Little Mermaid, and now all the tier 1s were open, which worked out for us because our tier 1 we had scheduled for that day was Tiana's. We had it at like noon. So when we scanned into Little Mermaid, we were able to snag a Big Thunder at like 11:45. And, Tiana's and Big Thunder are right next to each other, so that worked out for us. I suggest using the burner ride theory, or burner ride strategy, just because I think it opens up a lot more things to do, because when you get to the park, your lightning lane availabilities are dwindling quickly throughout the days, especially for the tier 1s. When we were at Epcot, we didn't pre-book Frozen. I can't remember what we booked, but I tried booking Frozen from like 9:30 in the morning on. Frozen was completely booked. I tried several times throughout the day to get a Frozen slot, and then it would say it was open, but by the time I got in, which is, a second, less than a second, it was taken. So the tier 1s book up fast throughout the days, if there's even any available by the time the park opens. But that's the burner ride theory. I think it works out great. Some people are totally against it, and they have different strategies, but that's the strategy we use. And let me know in the comments, and send me a message if you have a better strategy, you think one that's better. I'll certainly talk about it. I like to give people options. Everybody does Disney World different. Not everybody does it the same. I think that's going to do it for this week's show. Next week, we are going to have a guest, a very special guest on the show. I'm super excited for that. And I think we're going to switch up the format a little bit. So the show may be a little different from here in the future, but it's a good change. I'm super excited about it. Like I said, we're going to have a guest on next week. And so make sure you subscribe. You get notified when our show goes live. It comes live on Monday mornings. Head over to our website, mainstreettalkpod.com. That is kind of the home base for everything. If you want to book a vacation with me, I'm a certified Disney travel agent. I can do that. The links are on the website under book a vacation or get a quote. There's a free quote form there that'll come right to me. Our Facebook page is Main Street Talk Podcast. Our Main Street Talk group is called Walt Disney World Tips and Talk. So go over to the group. It's an open discussion. Discuss anything you want to discuss involving Walt Disney World. We're on Instagram at Main Street Talk Podcast. And if you want to book a vacation with me, you go to the website, like I said, or you can email me directly at nick.garcia@academytravel.com. And we are now a proud affiliate of the Magic Candle Company. There's a link on the website. You can use the link on the website and use the coupon code Main Street Talk to receive a 15% off of your entire order. So like I said, we are going to have a guest next week, so make sure you tune into that. All the links are in the show notes as well, so you don't have to write any of this down. So that's going to do it for this week. I will talk to you all real soon.